The 2015 Pro Rustock Real Rodeo Tour continues this week as the PRS returns once again to bluegrass country in Kentucky. The league's top bareback, saddle bronc, and bull riders have gathered inside Alltech Arena at the beautiful Kentucky Horse Park for the $30,000 2015 Lexington Shootout.
Welcome to the PRS Lexington, Kentucky.
We are in the horse capital of the country. Some would say the world. Welcome to Kentucky Horse Park here in Lexington, where the bluegrass is covered with white as a surprise late season snow has greeted Pro Rustock fans tonight. But it hasn't dampened anyone's enthusiasm. Here inside Alltech Arena, it's a perfect 72 degrees. Hello everybody, I'm Justin McKee alongside Kelly Timberman and Cord McCoy, and we're glad to have you with us here on RFD TV. And Kelly, I think this is the fourth year we've come back to Lexington.
Yeah, you know, it was our first tour stop 3 years ago, and it's been with us ever since. You know, what can you say? The hospitality has been exceptional. It is the #1 horse industry in the nation. We've been able to tour the horse park, see everything that's out there, you know, from big old stout horses to running thoroughbreds.
And Cord, I know they'll appreciate the jockeying for position we have going on in all three of the season standings.
Well, especially in the saddle bronc ride. You know that Cole Elsher is out, and Eric Wolford has had more outs in the PRS than anybody else, but never that #1 spot. He's 150 points out of being #1 in the saddle bronc riding, so we have to keep an eye on him. This might be a shot this week.
And in bareback, Blade Elliott is looking to keep things going after his win last week, but it looked like Jared Keelan might have been headed for the winner's circle. But he was red hot in Jacksonville until he was shaken up in the final 4 round. Kayla Zadell has a word on his condition.
That's right, guys. Jared Keelan tied his high of 91 points in the long go in Jacksonville, Florida. He had to decline the option of a re-ride in the short go because he injured his arm on the dismount. I talked to him tonight, and he said he's feeling a little black and blue, but he's feeling strong and ready to ride.
Thank you, Kaylin. As we get ready to ride, the stock contractors tonight are Painted Pony, Universal Pro Rodeo, and we'd like to welcome High Low Pro Rodeo for the first time. Shoot boss Daryl Barron says we're ready to ride. And first up is Evan James from France. He is on Wasper. Here's a foreign exchange student that has stayed in Texas, became an ag teacher. Now he's making his mark in bareback riding.
I was so impressed with his ride, you know, when we were at Jacksonville, Florida. He had a lot of drag all the way up to his rig and handle, was in contact with that horse's front end when the horse was hitting the ground. You know, he's a really exceptional rider. Now, the difference between last show and this show, this horse here is a bucker. There's a lot of front end here. It's a strong horse, kind of wanting to be uneven coming around there to the right. And he had to do what we call hit bareback tough and grit his teeth, keep his chin down, and finish an 8-second ride.
84.5 for the man who won the Texas Circuit Finals last year. Now to Eric Wolford up against Earth Angel. Eric, I just want to spur some ponies, has got a good one here.
Yeah, this is a really, really good horse to draw. Not a lot of power, really up underneath herself. And Eric just, man, he had a good start. Kind of got loose there at the end, but through that ride, he really tracked that horse well when she's running out across here, holding his feet. And right here when she breaks, he starts spurring, keeps her up underneath her, keeps her collected. He's in front of her. But right here as she's coming around, she misses kicking, and then she kicks hard and kind of wants to whip him over into that arm. Kind of finishes a little bit poor, but still a really good ride.
82 points. He'll move into second place right now for the man who had that neck injury last year. Let's go now to Caleb Bennett out of Utah. Here's a man who won Calgary a couple years ago, went to the national finals then as well. National champion in pro rodeo on Lovely Lexi from Painted Pony.
Man, I had a chance to travel with Caleb for a few years, and one of the funnest, hardest working, clean cut cowboys you'd ever see. And he'd always tease me about him being the grown-up and me being the kid, you know. He's got the whitest teeth in pro rodeo by far, and he draws the best horse in the bareback riding by far.
I love when Lovely Lexi sets up. She's almost just moving sideways, just setting up sideways, letting you show out.
85.5. Also,
to the right.
Rodeo Fame magazine voted him best hair in rodeo, too.
True.
For what it's worth.
Well, he's got it all.
Yeah.
You know,
Blade Elliott out of Alabama. Here's the man who had a big win in the long go and in Jacksonville last week, and here he goes on big boots.
You know, we saw that in Jacksonville when he had that patty. He didn't get the best start there either, and it looks like it kind of carried into this event. He had a mark out that was, you know, his toe kind of went up. The horse beat him out around there, and then his feet started dropping, and, you know, right here, he's just hustling, trying to get in front. He's taking a yanking. He's doing the best job he can, but we really need to work on those starts, Blade. We've got to get a little bit more solid there.
I liked his hustle. You know, it wasn't even and it wasn't easy right out of there, and he finished as good as he could.
Here is Matt Bright, originally from Tennessee. Here's the guy who's had all kinds of injuries, elbow surgery 2 years ago, torn groin last year. Georgia's bad cat.
Man, that's what we call a spur ride right there. He nodded his head to win first. And, you know, we watched the last event with Matt also. He was just out of that Final Four. But look at that classic start. Toes turned out. Watch the drag all the way up to his rig and handle. In contact that horse's neck before the front feet hit the ground. That helps the horse stay collected up underneath him. The horse can absorb that exposure with those legs. And just, I mean, that's a
You talk about
a
showing.
23
Look
spur
how
ride,
far
huh?
he's letting his feet come away from the neck, just showing out that he is in control right there.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Great ride.
Georgia's bad cat from Painted Pony doing his thing upright too. 87.5. He'll take the lead as we go to Jared Keelan, the man who was injured last week. He's on Painted Pony's Chab. The Kansas Cowboy finished third in the world standings last year.
This horse weighs about 1,500 pounds, and I think Jared might weigh $140. It's just a little unfair. Big, strong horse. Quit when a horse, even though they're big, they're strong because they're their weight and everything. But when they quit kicking, there's no rhythm in that motion of that horse bucking. So right here, when he stops kicking, he really starts to yanking on a guy.
Yeah, but everybody at home is thinking, what about the first few jumps, that duck and dive stuff? Is he going to get a lot of points for that?
Yes, definitely, especially because he didn't lose control in his upper body and he tracked him well with his legs.
85 points. That'll get him in the top 4 right now. But it's all about Matt Bright. 87.5. He is going to win the long round. Matt Bright from Tennessee, the 31-year-old, making up perhaps for some injury-riddled years. He's now with Kayla.
I just heard from a couple of other bareback riders that he was supposed to be really good to get on and just stay close to the chutes and be one you could be a lot of points on. And, man, he just sat up out there in one spot and just gave me a chance to show off. He was a lot of fun.
When we return, the 2014 World Finals average champion Shane Rickley will make his 2015 season debut as bull riding waits in the wings. Welcome back to Alltech Arena here in Lexington. It's time for bull riding. And Gordon McCoy, it's good to see Shane Rickley back after an exceptional World Finals.
He's the guy who won the average at the World Finals, and he's on a mission this year to win. And tonight he's got a bull called Tom from Universal. This bull is out and away from Shane's hand. You talk about spin 75 times in the 8 seconds right here.
That's like world record speed. That makes me dizzy just thinking about it. So we begin the bull riding with Union City, Michigan's Tyler Kijak. First time we've seen him on tour.
It is. You know, we've talked about it every week on that these bulls don't care where you're from, whether you're from Michigan or Texas. It doesn't say on the bull. The bull's kind of a little tricky at trying him every different direction. And Wiry, I got to applaud him for not letting go, but it wasn't the prettiest ride.
Well, he didn't quite get there. 7.3 on the clock.
Yeah, the bull starts away from his hand. Hopskipping, tough to get in time with him when he changes every jump and stretches him out there in just about 0.7 seconds from being long enough.
Tough break for Tyler Kijak. Gets close, but he does get close to 8 seconds. We'll go to Garrett Tribble out of Slick, Oklahoma on Funny Face.
Oh, I've seen this kid grow up, and you talk about one to watch for. You talking PRS world title on his mind right here. This kid rides so good. I think for his age, one of the toughest riders I've seen come along in a long time.
How old is he?
I don't even know that he's 18 yet.
Oh, man, he is a
7.
pup. He is a pup. Look at this. He's going to stick to him. I mean, it looks like he can handle anything this bull's going to throw at him.
He's already had an International Pro Rodeo Association world title and hadn't even made 18 yet. Not old enough to vote, but he's old enough to win.
Good night. I'm excited to watch him. Garrett Tribble from Slick, Oklahoma, 86 dominating points. Oh, he just makes it look easy. I think it is easy for him. 86 now. He'll set the pace as we go to Toby Stover of Mill Hall, Pennsylvania, on the Milkman from Universal Pro Rodeo. Here's the man who, at the finals, rode 2 out of 2, but did not make the short go.
Well, the final stepped up.
Whoa!
Oh, you don't think that bull hooked somebody before he looked up and seen he was there and pushed him on out.
Boy, he landed right up between the antelators.
I see where the bull got his name, but I'm pretty sure he's not a dairy cow.
Ooh, man, that's almost a slobber knocker, Cord.
He was close. He was close. Maybe closer to the horns than the nose, but maybe got a little bit of both.
Oh, yeah. I mean, stuck it in his ear. That's what he did.
Good thing they cut that one horn off just a little bit.
Good night. He'd be wearing that cowboy around like one of them earrings, bull earrings. Here's Trent Cormier. Here's a man who won the long go last week at Jacksonville. Finished second for the title. Hard copy of Painted Pony.
Right there into his hand. That bull messed up when he turned right with Trent. We watched that last week. 90 points in the first round, and he's kicking loose on this one as well.
He's going to gather up some more points for the second week in a row. I wonder if Duck Dynasty's called him yet.
Hey, well, I know they're watching. They've got to be tuning into the PRS.
They're our kind of people. You know, they love it. Trent Cormier, I tell you, this guy is so electric to watch on the back of a bull. Beautiful ride, racking up some points, staying on that bull, doing it again.
That bull's going to have to come up with something new to buck him off other than right.
84.5. Cormier is headed to the Wrangler Championship round for the second week in a row. So we go to Shane Rickley. Here's the former IPRA champion and won the finals last year in the PRS.
I've been waiting for him to start another year. He finished so strong last year at the finals, looked unstoppable, and he's got him wrapped up.
No,
he don't.
How did he
Oh,
let that one get away?
I've done that as a rider before, too. Just you got him rode, and then that's over with.
Oh, that's old Tom, the fast little spinner.
Oh,
Is that when you
Tom.
start thinking, oh, that 8 seconds is here?
I know. Sometimes I've counted to 8 3 times by the time the whistle blows.
No score. John Jacobs, the man that was leading last year but had that shoulder separation. Cash from Universal Pro Rodeo is taking a nap.
Come on.
Now
Cash.
he's awake.
Hey.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know that Cash is my favorite bull. It sounded like the best name when I saw the day sheet, but maybe not my favorite now. He kind of gets a rough start, looks left, looks right, back to the left when he ain't even ready for it.
So the man who finished second in the finals average last year and third in the world standings is going to buck off. And that means we've got a new story. Garrett Tribble is going to win the long round in bull riding, 86 points. Let's find out more about him. Kayla's got him.
Well, he started real good and was bucking real good, and then he kind of cut out of it and ended bad, but it worked out for me, so.
So, Cord, I found out you're just a couple of months off. He has actually just turned 18. Congratulations either way to the young rising superstar in bull riding. Just ahead, saddle bronc riding. We're back at All Tech Arena and ready for saddle bronc riding here at the Lexington Shootout. Kelly Timberman, this could be a big day for Eric. I just want to spur some ponies Wolford.
if he can get into the Final Four, he's got a shot at taking over first place in the world standings. He's got stiff competition. Heath, Danger to Moss is back after winning the average at the World Finals. I don't think many of these guys have got an easy go of it tonight.
So we're going to start things off with Ty Kirkland out of Lufkin, Texas. Here's the man who won the PRCA Rookie of the Year title a couple of years ago. He's on Hustler from High-Low Pro Rodeo.
You know, these old bronc riders, they always just look so classy. I want to see some flair on those shaps, you know, maybe some
He's
bright,
got flair in
shiny
his
stuff.
feet. He's got flair in his feet. This kid can ride. He was strumming that hack rein like a banjo string. He hit it 3 times.
This horse, Hustler's a 9-year-old horse, a high lows. Really good right out across there. The first 4, say 5, 6 jumps, and then he weakens towards the end a little bit, costs him a little bit in the ride.
He strummed that 7 or 8 times. Every jump, 84.5. That guy's got a smile on his face, and so do I. I'm excited about his future. Andrew Harris from Commerce, Texas is on BB from Painted Pony.
Yeah, Andrew's a little bit taller guy. In the bronc ride, you know, I think it gives them a little bit of a classy look when they reach up, set those feet. You can really see those toes turned out, and boy, right at the end there, he caught that foot in that front right shoulder and just
That's
whipped
what I
him
seen
down.
it about dusted him. He hung that right foot over the rein there about 6 seconds and couldn't move it off that rein. You'll watch it when this horse comes around here to the left. He reached up, stick it, and he hangs it. Oh, just hangs it in the shoulder. I thought he was on the rein.
77 points. Going to cost him a few from the judges for hanging that right foot up there, but he does get a score. As we go now to Justin Kaler from Sulphur Springs, Texas. Little Big Man is the horse from Painted Pony.
Horse really kind of rolled around that post. Didn't affect him, really. I don't think it hit him at all. And, you know, Little Big Man is one of the horses in the pen that he's the hopper of the group. He's real consistent, really good to ride. Everybody's seen this horse, and he just sits up there, makes a businessman decision, and just sticks it on him, and he should be winning the round.
Is he winning the round? No, he's in second place behind Ty Kirkland's 84.5. Justin Kaler with this 81.5. Maybe just a little slow getting started. Maybe they thought he ate up a little clock.
Well, when we saw the other side through the ride, all the way through, and right here, the first 3 or 4 jumps, he wasn't getting in front of that left shoulder, and they probably docked him for a little bit of an easier horse and not quite as a snappy.
That's the bad thing. We've got the best judges in the world out there, and they know when you got an easy horse. And so like that, it's hard to get that extra credit for riding one like that because they know you're supposed to. You're here on the top level of the PRS.
Here's the Commercial Airlines pilot, Ryan Rodwalds, out of Florida. He is on 10 Man from Universal Pro Rodeo.
If I was going to enter the bronc riding, this would be the horse that I'd want. Straight down the pin, bobbing his head down between those legs. That horse right there takes a little bit of rein, but he's so
his
good
nose
to
is
ride.
on the ground.
So good to ride.
He was bucking with his head but under his tail.
Oh, the only thing you're going to have from that horse is sore knuckles from your hand hitting the top of those swells. Look at that horse.
He really thinks he's doing something, too. Look at his ears pinning back. He's like, I'm going to buck you off, cowboy.
Ryan Rodwald is going to take the lead in the round with an 85-point score. The qualifier for the American got him out of retirement, back on the trail a little bit. As we go now to Heath DeMoss. Here's a man who just slipped into the World Finals last year. But he had a big finals. He won the average and ended up number 3 for the world standings. He's on Penny Lane from High-Low Pro Rodeo. Whoa, get out of here.
Oh, she had a bit of a stumble right there. Penny Lane.
Whoa.
Get out. Doggone.
Good thing he lost the boot there.
That's why they wear their boots a little bit bigger, so if they do get caught in a stirrup, they just pull right off.
Hey, I'm telling you what, now that was wilder than Tijuana and 2 in the morning. Had a little bit of everything going on right there, and there was a stutter, step, stumble, and about threw him out of town.
You see that? He lost that left stirrup when he come back up. I was wondering why he jumped it a little early.
She doesn't have a set trip yet, but man, is she going to be a bucker.
So a rare buck off for Heath DeMoss. As we go to Eric, I just want to spur some ponies. Wolford, he's got that wax in the mustache all curled up. And cowboy cool looking. Harrison is the high-low bucking horse.
This horse came from Mike Uther. We had him on our American show. Mike has been to a national final so many times, but he also raises world-class bucking horses. And right out there, that horse really started and really was going to buck. Looked like it might have got a little bit too much flanked. It might make it a little bit tight, a little bit hard for the horse to kick consistently. And that's just, young horses sometimes takes a few trips before you figure it out.
Is that going to be enough for Justin, for Eric to make it back?
It is barely. 80 points will put him in the top 4. But it's all about Ryan Rodwald. He is going to fly this plane to the win of round 1. 85 points. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seat belts and put your tray table up. He's with Kayla.
Well, that was a great horse, a fun horse to ride, and it makes you feel good. So those are the kind you hope to draw, and would love to see that kind of horse at every time you get on.
Don't go away. Plenty more to come tonight from here in Lexington as we hand out the Round 1 awards and preview next week's Final 4 Showdown round.
PRS Lexington!
There's a reason it's called rough stock. Just ask these guys. Tough, determined, not afraid of danger. I don't know about you, but I'd like to get to know them. Now, if you can, mastersoftheRide.com. Be inspired.
Be sure to join us in the growing number of fans who have already signed up for the PRS Rough Cuts fan newsletter. Just go to ProRoughStock.com and you'll receive the free newsletter. And get to know the riders better and the sport better with the free podcast, Masters of the Ride, which, by the way, Ryan Rodwald, the jet blue pilot that is winning this round, he is a recent feature in Masters of the Ride podcast, and you can get there from ProRoughStock.com or go directly to MastersOfTheRide.com. Here's where we stand for next week with the Wrangler Final 4 Showdown round matchups. Kelly? what stands out in bareback riding?
Matt Bright stands out. The way he rode in that Longo, I really look for him to come in. He's leading the number 1 spot, and he's got a horse, Billy. This is a young horse that came from Mike Houthier. She's a very special little lady, and I think has the potential to be a big-time bucking horse.
Cord and bull riding.
I'm going to look over here to the riders. Shane Rickley won the average at the PRS World Finals last year, so he's got to remember that. Trent Cormier won the round last week. Garrett Trimble, he won the first round here. These guys are matched up and going to ride good.
And in saddle bronc riding.
The best horse in the pen, in my opinion, is Harry Potter. He's a big, bucking, ranked dude, and Eric Wolford's got him.
And Eric Wolford has a real opportunity because if he can ride that horse, he might move to number 1 in the world standings. Time now to award the Kershaw Cutting Edge Performance Highlight of the Night. Cord, who do you got?
Well, I've always got to cheer for the Okies, but let me tell you, I want to be the first to introduce you guys to Garrett Trimble. What an awesome 18-year-old bull rider, fixing to make his mark on the world right here on the PRS.
That cowboy from Slick is pretty sticky, and he's got this whole broadcast booth in a buzz about his future. There's nothing like the best ride, and there's nothing like a Kershaw, and there's nothing like a hot-shot kid that can ride like that. Now let's hand out the top bucking honors with the Bismarck Ranch Big Buck of the Night. This award goes to the top performing animal, and Kelly, you've got one, don't you?
Yeah, our Bismarck Big Buck of the Night has got to go to lovely Lexi. When you draw that horse right there, that's the one all the bareback riders want. And she might even have a little bit nicer hair than that guy riding her, old Caleb Bennett.
That is saying a lot. The Bismarck Big Buck of the Night is sponsored by our good friend Neil Wadless and the crew at Bismarck Ranch. Bismarck Ranch, ranching the way nature intended. Next week, the Wrangler Final Four Showdown round from here in Lexington. For Gordon McCoy, Kelly Timberman, and Kayla Zadell, I'm Justin McKee. Thanks for spending some of your day with us. See ya next week.